welcome. I am so excited to be here today, and I'm thankful that you are all here today because we're going to talk about something really special that every single woman will go through if they are blessed to be alive at that time. And we don't always talk enough about this, and that's perimenopause and menopause. And this can feel like a wild ride for a lot of people, and each one of us are so unique, right? It's full of changes, surprises, and questions. But the thing that I want you all to know is that we all deserve to feel good in our bodies. We all deserve to feel nourished, to feel supported, to feel energized, and even joyful. We can be joyful in this process. And I'm going through this process right here with you. So this stage of life, I think it's an opportunity, a beautiful opportunity to pause, to reflect, and really decide how we want to live the next chapter of our lives. It's a time of becoming, really stepping in more fully into who we really are. We're rising into our power, into our trust, and into a deeper sense of self. So at the same time, I know it's not always easy, right? Because these changes that come with perimenopause and menopause, they can feel very overwhelming and go, oh my goodness, who took over my brain? Who took over my body, right? Our hormones shift and suddenly our bodies, our moods don't always feel familiar. So there's no way to skip this journey, right? But thankfully, there's so much that we can do to make it smoother. And I'm so happy that you are here so you can learn some ways that you can make it easier. So today, you're going to be understanding a little bit more about how your hormones work and how to support them to feel their best. So, and often the good news is it doesn't always take these huge changes. It can just be a few intentional changes that can make a world of difference. So, this is going to be our time to embrace the new possibilities waiting for us. And in these later decades, right, there's strength and there's power. And sometimes it's maybe something that we didn't have access to in our younger years, right? So, my goal is to give you information that I feel every woman needs to know so you can move through perimenopause and if you're postmenopause with more ease and even maybe even look forward to what's ahead. So most of all, this is our time that a lot of us aren't having to mother anymore, right? We can now take care of ourselves. This is our time to nourish our minds, nourish our bodies, nourish our souls. And before we wrap up today, I would love to invite you to choose one small, powerful action to start with. So as you listen to the presentation today, just think about what would be that small action that you might want to do. So to help guide today's conversation, I would love to know what stage you're currently in and just type the number that matches your stage and let's just see where we all are. So one, it's premenopause. This means you are still getting your regular periods. You are here to learn about what's to come. Number two is perimenopause. We're going to talk a little bit more about this, but this is that zone of chaos, that transitional period, typically in the 40s, but it can be from 35 to 50 to start. And then number three is menopause, which we call, but it's traditionally called menopause, but it's actually postmenopause. This is when a woman has not experienced a menstrual period for 12 consecutive months. So postmenopause, it follows that one day of menopause where hormones remain low. So I am in perimenopause. I'm 54 and I'm still there. So again, there might be somebody here that's 40 and we're in the same exact stage. So there's going to be lots of variances in here. So today, it's all about making these chapters of life a little bit easier, more empowering. So no matter what stage you're in, you're going to help to get prepared and you're going to walk away with some clarity, some confidence, and a bunch of practical tools. I really like to keep it real and simple, and you don't need to do all the things, right? Just a few small steps can make a difference. So again, at the end of our class today, you're going to have some clarity on your symptoms and a personalized step forward. So think of today as your turning point, right? Sometimes when I see coaching clients, we have They're like, I'm at two paths. I see two paths. One where things stay the same, and that is not where I want to be. And the other one is where you can feel supported and really feel control again. So I invite you all to let go of any distractions, to grab that notebook, to really take notes, and to be here in the present moment. And also, there's some great things coming ahead. There's some great bonuses. So if you're looking for extra support, at the end, I'm going to be sharing to you this beautiful guide that I put together. It's 16 pages. It's packed with 10 easy, delicious recipes that will support your hormone. Even having like smoothies and pudding and salad, soups, curries, mocktails. And then you can download this guide for free. And then also you're going to have an invitation to learn all about how to have a call with me that's all about you and the goals you're setting today to go more into your challenges and where you want to be with your health. So let's just see in the chat room real quick where everybody is. All right, so let's see here. Yeah, Jolene. Okay, Jolene is saying, I want to learn anything related to menopause, bone health, bioidentical, or hormones. Yeah, we can definitely touch in on that. Yeah, so I'm seeing lots of people in their menopause to premenopause. Yeah, lots of different stages here. So I'm glad that you are all here because you're all going to be walking away no matter what stage that you are in. And also to share this with other people. We need to be talking about this with other people. So if we have not met yet, hello, I am Lori. Again, I'm so glad you're here. So I specialize in helping women support their bodies naturally. So if we haven't met, a little about me, I've spent the last 10 years of my life coaching women 40 and over on how to live a healthier life, feel more energized, reduce these hormone related symptoms. So I am certified in health coaching and nutrition and yoga and Reiki. And all of my passion is really about helping women take control of their well-being. I can get that out here. So let's talk about what are hormones, right? So first of all, let's make it simple. Hormones are our body's messengers. They impact everything. And when I started to learn about this, I thought, boy, this is kind of like when I would get IKEA furniture. I'd be very confused, very frustrated at times, and completely overwhelmed of how to put it together. But here's the thing, hormones don't need to be that confusing and they don't need to control you. So you can work with your changing hormones by making simple shifts in how you eat, how you move, how you take care of yourselves, right? Because they impact our energy. Our hormones impact our mood, our sleep, our digestion, our menstrual cycle. So, which one of these do you think is like causing you the most trouble? So just put it in the chat right now. What's really going on? You don't need to have all these symptoms to like qualify, or even one or two may signal that your body is going through a shift. So these are your hormone besties right now. So they're going through like some changes just like you. So in this workshop, we're going to learn again how to support them better. And unfortunately, our hormones, it's not like a straight line. It is a roller coaster. So our estrogen, really, that's our energy, our mood, our skin, our bones. It's going to fluctuate a lot. Progesterone, this really affects your sleep, your calm, your period regulation. This is going to drop faster than your estrogen. And then we're going to talk about testosterone. This is about your muscles, your libido, your motivation, and this has a slow decline over time. So there's no timer that says like, okay, you hit 40 and yes, perimenopause starts. Again, every single body is different. And the key is to tuning in and noticing and supporting these shifts. But just as when we were in our teen years, right? We had the hormones go up and we got our first menstrual periods. Then for a while, we had our reproductive years, right? Periods on a regular basis. And then you can see on this graph, perimenopause, that zone of chaos, and then it comes down to menopause. And some of you may actually have children that are going in, you're in perimenopause, and they're in their teens all at the same time. And that is quite the wild ride. So, perimenopause, again, it is that stage before menopause, and it can last anywhere from 4 to 15 years. So, maybe in your 30s, maybe in your 40s, but it's marked by this hormonal chaos where your levels rise and fall unpredictably. So, this can lead to some irregular periods, some mood swings, sleep disturbances. I mean, it's your body's way of just shifting gears. So, just let me know in the chat. Give me a big yes. Does the phrase zone of chaos feel relatable if you've already gone through perimenopause or if you're going through it right now? Just let me know if that relates to you. I know it definitely related to me. So, what is menopause? So, menopause marks the official end of your reproductive years, and it's defined as the day you've gone 12 months in a row without your period. So, after that, you're considered postmenopause. I really think that this one day that we have menopause, we should have a party. So if you are still getting your periods, make sure you mark all of them, especially in perimenopause, so you can celebrate. So next year for me, it will maybe be on July 5th. That will be my day. So after that, you are considered that postmenopausal. And the good news is that with the right lifestyle, the right support, this phase can really be one of clarity and strength and renewal. So I would love to hear from you too in the chat. If you want just to put in, for those of you that are in postmenopausal stage, feel free to put in the chat, what's the most surprising, unexpected symptom that you have had? And I will just consider this called menopause from now on. So let's talk about symptoms and let's just share here. There's no sharing outside of this little comfort zone of our Zoom call because there's a lot of symptoms and they can show up in many different ways. No two women are alike, but sometimes when you hear that somebody else is experiencing the same symptom, it makes you feel validated, right? Some symptoms are obvious, like hot flashes and irregular periods, but I would love to hear from you. What has shown up in your life? They might be physical, they might be emotional, maybe there's something in between. But naming it out loud can be the first step to feeling seen, to feeling supported. So just take a moment to drop one or two symptoms in the chat that you've experienced. And really, if something doesn't feel right, if something feels off, you're probably right. And sometimes we like gaslight ourselves. And so really know that it can be brain fog, it can be anxiety, it can be weight gain, the decreased metabolism, fatigue, vaginal dryness, low libido, joint pain, hair loss. I mean, there's so many more. Frozen shoulder is a really common one for women. Itchy ears, right? Sounds so odd, but they can sneak up on you. Tinnitus, vertigo, bloating, irritability, palpitations, some cold flashes, skin burning, arthritis, heavy periods, like, oh, yes, the whiskers, body odor, so many more. But the one that I hear the most from my clients is, I just don't feel like myself anymore, right? So, what does that feel like to you to go through some of these symptoms? Yeah, so I'm hearing in the chat, yeah, it's so much harder to lose weight and body shape shifting. Thank you for saying that. Absolutely. Things are shifting in the body, especially in that lower belly. Dry hair or dry skin, hair, everything is dry. Yeah, hard to know how to dress. Brain fog, weight shifts. The hair changes. Brain fogginess. Yes, hard to lose weight, anxiety, insomnia, sleep, irritable, brain fog, sleep, energy, weight, digestion, sleep, digestion. Yeah, absolutely. So much. Thank you all for sharing in the chat. I appreciate you. I hear you, and you are all right on with those symptoms. So, we are going to be talking a little bit about now these what I think of the main five pillars of thriving in perimenopause and menopause. And yes, you can thrive during this stage. And I would love to say, wouldn't it be nice if some of the things we see on Instagram, like one magic pill would solve every symptom? Well, if it was there, I'd be the first one to hand it out. But the truth is, there just isn't one thing. Instead, what I have is I call the five pillars, and these are things that can actually move the needle. So, stress and nervous system regulation. This is really going to help to calm your body so your symptoms don't spiral. The number two is sleep, really consistent quality rest to restore your hormones, movement, building strength and energy through joyful activity. All right, joyful. Nutrition. We're going to talk a lot about nutrition today. Really focusing on that anti-inflammatory diet. That's going to be hormone supportive foods, those superfoods for this stage of life that fuel that balance. And then we need to have that mindset shifting from like, oh, what's wrong with me? I'm broken to, yeah, this is beautiful. I'm evolving with more compassion and more confidence. So the good news is that when you work on these five pillars, it's like creating your own natural medicine. I always call it my holistic prescription, right? These are the things that bring relief, that help feel like yourself again. And this is exactly what I do to help women do in coaching. We don't try to tackle everything at once. Each person is different, and we focus on these pillars that matter most to you. And we start with the one that's going to be the easiest, that won't feel overwhelming right away. So it's different for everyone. So one of my clients has said, working with me was the first program that really stuck, right? That it helped ease her menopause symptoms, and she got rid of her anxiety and her hot flashes. That when you have support, it can be gentle, you're held accountable in a way that works. And she feels better now than she did in her 30s. And she really loves herself, and she knows what's best for her as well. So we're going to talk about pillar number one first. So this is all about stress and nervous system regulation. This is about calming your body so symptoms don't spiral, right? This is your invitation to just take a pause, take a breath, and care for you. And this I would say is my hardest one for myself. So when we can truly slow down and listen, your body actually tells us what you need. And I didn't learn this until about 15 years ago. So knowing that self-care is really the most unselfish thing you can do, it's essential, because then you're bringing out that best version of you. So everybody around you can really bask in that beauty of who you are, right? During these chapters, your body's already managing big changes. So relaxation practices, just like taking some deep breaths, taking time to meditate, even just 1 minute, simply writing things down can ease our mood and help shift us back to center. So you are worth the same kindness that you give to others. Stress may be a part of life, but suffering doesn't have to be. So let's slow down and let's just listen to what our body really needs. So we're going to talk a little bit about your inner wiring, that nervous system. So during these stages, our stress, it's just kind of frustrating to us, because it actually becomes a bigger trigger, right? So you'll notice that there are things that are happening around you that feel bigger to you, right? We have symptoms like hot flashes, more anxiety, disrupted sleep. So that's because our nervous system plays a huge role in how we feel. When we are constantly in a state of fight and flight or freeze, our bodies stay on high alert, and that throws our hormones out of balance. And this might be just running late. 5 minutes to something. Our body doesn't know that a tiger is not chasing us. We might just be in a constant state of stress. So when we can activate that parasympathetic nervous system. That's known as our rest and our digest, or maybe it's also, you've heard it called rest and repair mode. We give our body that permission to calm down. That's when things really shift. Hot flashes ease, anxiety softens, sleep improves. So I like to think of that parasympathetic system as almost like a softening, or like, oh, like a switch, like a light switch. It's like a hormone harmony switch. So let me just ask you, come into the chat, which state do you think your nervous system is in most of the day? Are you in more of that fight or flight, or are you in more of that rest and repair? This is something I work on myself every day. I have to be, it does not come easy to me. And this is something I work on with every one of my clients, because supporting their nervous system is the foundation. It's like building a house. And if you don't have that right foundation, no matter what you do on top, it's not going to work. So this is a key ingredient to feeling better. So when we can create safety in our nervous system, like actually saying, maybe even stop and say to yourself right now, I am safe. I'm okay, right? When we create that safety in your nervous system, your body shifts from that just surviving to that thriving. And these simple tools really can reduce these symptoms. Even 5 minutes can create a huge shift. So, and again, to be real with you, I am a work on progress on this. I have to practice this daily, and some days it's deep breathing. Other days it's a walk in the woods. Sometimes it's just a few minutes of quiet. This morning, my love Mark and I, we did yoga for an hour, and it just helps to ground me. And it's not about being perfect at all. It's about having the tools that support you through the ups and downs. So think about, what is the easiest for you? Is it doing a little yoga? Is it maybe setting some boundaries digitally or with other people? Maybe it's social connections. Maybe it's a sleep time routine, gratitude journal, breathing, meditation. There's so many things that we can do that take care of ourselves. It's not a luxury. Don't think like, oh, it's only for the elite. It's how we stay connected. It's how we stay connected to who we are. And the more chaos we have around our life, the more we need moments of stillness. So sometimes when I go to a yoga class that is slow, which is harder for me. This weekend, I went to a yoga retreat that I taught at a class. And then right afterwards, I went to one that it was just an hour meditation with singing bowls. That's harder than for me than the big vinyasa class that I took in the morning. But I know that I'm doing something for my nervous system, right? We don't need a full day at a retreat, though. Sometimes it's just one deep breath, one moment of stillness. So come into the chat and just let me know, what helps you? What helps you to feel grounded and calm? Yeah, so people are saying, yeah, you're working on, hi Bonnie, yeah, working on staying in rest and reset. Josie's saying most of the time in rest to repair. Yeah, Roseanne, fight and flight. Thanks for just being real. There's a lot of people that are saying, yeah, there's a lot going on. And it's okay no matter where you are. So we're going to go into pillar number 2 just kind of quickly here. So we're going to talk about sleep, consistent quality rest to restore your hormones. How many of you want to wake up going, I feel great. I feel well rested, right? I think we can all say yes in the chat. Yes, yes, yes. So this is really overlooked. And I think, we wear sometimes this badge of honor, like I'm so busy, I only got 4 hours of sleep. But no, we have to shift that mindset, because during this stage of life, getting consistent quality sleep can feel harder than ever, but it's also more essential than ever, because sleep affects our mood, right? It affects our memory, it affects our weight. We all know what happens when we don't get a good night's sleep. We want all the carbs possible. So when we don't sleep well, our whole system gets thrown off. So we're going to talk about just a few simple, powerful ways to support yourself better. So, right, going to bed, waking up at the same time every day. And just like you had, maybe if you have children, you had like a sleep routine. Maybe you think about what is that fun routine for you. Last night I did some beautiful calming yoga before bed. Reducing that screen time, that's probably one of the ones I hear the most with my clients and most challenging because when we get that blue light, it's going to reduce our melatonin. So it's important to reduce that. Having that cool, dark, quiet environment. Caffeine can stay in our body for about 12 hours, so reducing caffeine in the afternoon and evenings. And then there's many different things. Talk to your doctor about would magnesium, which is that calming mineral, be good for you. Maybe there's teas like chamomile, raspberry leaves, ginger tea. So see what's going to work best for you. And I know we always people always want to ask, like, tell me a little bit about hormone replacement therapy. And the number one thing I want you to hear is talk to your doctor right away about HRT to see if it is right for you. So as many of you know, like progesterone, when we learned about it a couple minutes ago, right, it plays a huge role in calming the body and supporting restful nights. So this might be something that would be a good step for you. So I just brought so I am now on this is my first month of progesterone cream. I started with the tablets, and I did learn in a course I take that this one has less side effects, but I wanted to be a true experiment. And I did. I felt kind of drunk taking the pill. So see how things feel for you. But I put this on, you do a click, and I put it on different parts of my body before I go to bed. So this is just something that we need to talk to see if it's right for you because everybody's going to be a little bit different. But I used to believe before I got educated on this, I remember hearing like, no, these are bad for our health. Well, now we know that those studies that probably did not give any support to our parents, to our moms, um, was flawed, right? And now we have newer, better studies that show that hormone replacement therapy can actually support our bone density, our brain health, and our heart health as we age. So even if you don't have a lot of symptoms, it may help you when you're 80 and 90 years old. Now, it's best if this can be started within the first 10 years of going through menopause. So but you still might be able to have something after that. So just go in and have that conversation. I also use estradiol patches. This is they just come in these little, let me just grab one out. Oh, maybe let's see. So you just tear it off. And then I just put a little patch. You put them in different spots, and I keep them on for a week. You can also get ones that you patches for every like 2 times a week, and they've been really helpful for me. But the key point is that this is not a one size fits all. It can be life changing for some women, but it isn't the right choice for everyone. So that's why it's important just to have this discussion and weigh the benefits and the pros and the cons for your unique body. But whether you choose HRT or not, your lifestyle habits, right? The managing stress, the movements, nutrition, the mindset, that is still going to be the foundation. So you can't just do this without this foundation, right? So it's one of the tools alongside these that is going to give you that stronger foundation for everything. So I'm just going to look at the chat real quick to see what's going on here, and then we're going to move into our third one. Oh yeah, Norma's just saying, can you show the patch again? Yes. So it's just these small, you rip it open, and it's actually just a little size that's here. If it was my day to change it, I would open it for you right here, but it's very easy to put on. Yes. And so, yeah, Marissa is saying she has alarms on her watch at different times during the day to just breathe, because work is usually her busiest time of the day. Yeah, Norma likes to do breathing and tapping. Let's see. Oh, let's see. And yeah, and the progesterone cream, I in the course that I took about menopause, they really stressed ask for bioidentical. Okay, so that's the key thing. So and Jolene, yeah, maybe you just talk to me privately and I'll let you know that. So that sounds great. So let's talk about pillar number 3 here. So this is about the power of movement. We need to build strength and energy with joyful activity. I have some clients that will come in and like, I run and it's so hard and they hate it. And once we like reduce that and we bring in like some joyful things, all of a sudden the weight comes off, right? Movement is medicine. It boosts our mood, our energy, our metabolism. So walking, stretching, yoga helps release stress and balance our nervous system. Strength training helps us to keep our bones like strong, resilience, especially because our estrogen declines, right? Estrogen is an anti-inflammatory, and we don't have to do it all. We just need to move ways that feels good and fit for your life. Every rep, every step, every stretch counts, but we need to move this body because we still want to be able to like be on the ground with our grandkids in 20, 30, 40 years, right? Think about bigger and stronger body. And some of you might have grown up with the skinny. So our body craves movement. It's not punishment, it is support. So think about what feels joyful for you to reduce that cortisol. So that mantra is strong over skinny. What research tells us, what real life tells us about menopause and muscle. So there was a study that just came out this year that states as our ovarian function declines, that muscle strengths drop and our quality of life goes with it. So, in fact, the study found that the rate of possible muscle loss nearly triples after menopause. So that means more women, 40, 50 and up are losing strength. With it, you know what we're losing is independence, energy, and vitality. So, but here's the bigger issue is that women are being told still to focus on being smaller, to being skinny. But I want you to think about, I want to be strong, right? That's what we're going to bring into our vitality, our strength. So focus not just being at a healthy weight, like being in that healthy BMI, right? Building muscle, building strength, building resilience, because those are the true markers of health in midlife and beyond. And strength is something that you can do at any age. I have clients in my 80s that are lifting weights, that are exercising, and we are evolving and that version of you that builds muscle, right, that fuels her body, that lifts heavy things, that takes up space is great. I have clients that say, I had no idea that I could do this. I had a client that just did a half marathon on rollerblades. She's like, I never even liked to sweat, and she had no idea what's even coming up next, right? So we have so much power within us. We are not meant to disappear. We are meant to rise. So this is another client of mine. Her life completely changed. And this is just what's possible when you get the right support. But she said she helped me see the true connection that health isn't just about weight. It's about sleep. It's about movement, stress, connection, breathing, nutrition, and so much more. Kind of the losing weight is a side effect. She's lost actually over 100 pounds and she is sleeping better. She enjoys cooking. She enjoys moving her body. She just loves life. So whether you want to lose weight or feel less anxious or just feel better in your body, she's just saying she recommends working with me. That health coach can help change your perspective on health and life. And really, she gets to choose how she wants to live. And life is good. And it wasn't when she first started. So let's talk about pillar number 4 of the 5 pillars. So this is all about nutrition. So there's a lot here. So if you don't have a notebook, make sure you have something. So we're going to talk about anti-inflammatory hormone supportive foods that fuel that balance. So let's talk about how one of the most supportive ways that we can support our body during these stages are by what we eat. Because food is not just fuel, it's information for our bodies. And it can either support our hormones and these symptoms, or it's going to stir things up and make us feel worse. So when we shift to really just the bottom line, just whole nutrient dense food, that's going to gently balance your hormones. It's going to reduce those symptoms like brain fog, hot flashes, and cravings. It's going to support energy, mood, sleep. I work with every single client on nutrition. In fact, with my clients, everybody has an opportunity to do this whole foods reset that we just focus for either 10, 14, 30 days. Everyone's a little different to figure out what's right for each person. They're shocked at how easy and delicious it is to eat this way. One of my clients said she was getting kind of mad at her kids because they kept eating all of the meals she was making, and she was hoping she could just eat her leftovers. And she's like, that's so amazing that I'm actually feeding my kids foods. And I didn't realize how delicious it would be to eat real food. So it just shows that real food can taste good. And by the way, all the processed food hijacks our taste buds. So if you're saying, I don't like vegetables, I don't like water, it will get better. So your body starts to thank you for it. Your body is working extra hard these days. So we need to give it what it needs. And our body continues to change throughout our life. And so different kinds of food can support different things going on. So it can support that balance and ease the symptoms. And we need to think about what our society is telling us is good for our break today, right? No McDonald's. We do not need processed food because they often make the symptoms worse. So focus on nutrition over calories. I don't talk about calories with my clients. We talk about intuitive eating. We talk about how the food directly impacts how we feel. And when we can eat, or I should say, when we eat processed food that's full of sugar and chemicals, it makes us feel crappy. So, crappy food means we're going to feel like crap. So, there's no treat in that. For me, when I want to treat, I want to have something that's going to make me feel good. So, if you're wondering how to apply this to you, just stay with me because I got something special for you at the end. So, what you eat directly influences how you feel, right? So physically, mentally, emotionally, balanced blood sugar reduces the mood swings and energy crashes. So we need to focus on every meal, every snack having high protein, healthy, delicious fats, and fiber. So prioritize that whole nutrient dense anti-inflammatory foods, which I'll talk more about. Reduce the added sugar and processed food. Support the gut with fiber and fermented foods. So these are going to help us to feel our best. So here are some key nutrients. So magnesium is what I like to call the calm and steady mineral. It plays a major role in regulating our mood, our sleep, and our muscles. So think about dark chocolates, pumpkin seeds, almonds, omega-3s like salmon, sardines, walnuts, chia seeds, B vitamins, eggs, nutritional yeast, legumes, leafy greens, vitamin D, fatty fish, egg yolks, mushrooms, non-dairy milk, fiber. Oh my gosh, I put flax seeds on everything, berries, legumes, broccoli, right? Protein, having that unsweetened Greek yogurt, chicken, eggs, lentils, tofu. Think beyond the chicken and the cows. So thinking about this, just what is your day going to look like? It can start with a beautiful, egg scramble with veggies, with some avocado. Maybe a lunch is like a quinoa bowl. A snack could be an apple with some almonds. Dinner, grilled salmon, broccoli, roasted sweet potatoes. So you can get some of my recipes that I was just talking about here. These are going to be nutrient dense recipes just for our stages here. So take some time to screenshot this or grab your phone phone, do a little screenshot here to scan the download. If you're looking for extra support, this is packed with easy, delicious meals that support your hormones. And if you want that extra support and inspiration, just download this free guide. And I'll also share the link in a little bit as well. So, pillar number 5 is mindset. So, shifting from I am broken I am evolving with compassion and confidence. So let's just take a moment to shift how we see this season of life, right? We are in a powerful transition. Menopause is not the end. It's like, it's a powerful new beginning, right? And our body is asking for deeper care, not more criticism. That does not work. What if we approach these chapters of our life with curiosity and compassion? How does that feel to you? Right? We have wisdom within us. We have resilience. We have the chance to truly own our well being. And think about what a gift it is that we get to grow older. Not everybody gets this honor, right? This is a gift. And every year brings me more wisdom, brings me more strength, more truth. And so I am grateful to age with grace and with courage and with purpose. I'm 54. That is the age that my dad passed away. And I think he never got to get this far, and how grateful I am. So whenever I look in the mirror and I go, oh my goodness, is that more wrinkles? Is that more? I'm like, oh, yes. How nice it is that I smile a lot. And that's why I get these extra wrinkles, right? So mindset shifts like this don't usually happen just one time, right? That's why I work with women one-on-one to figure out really where are they uniquely stuck, right? So what's one belief about menopause maybe that you're willing to rewrite? So just put in the chat, let me know. Is it an affirmation that you can just say, like, aging is a gift? Like, I receive this with gratitude and with strength, right? The most empowered version of us, it's still unfolding. Really, truly thinking that this is a privilege to be here, that every line that we have every year is a proof of our life learned and lessons learned. So we are also at the same time allowed to grieve, right? Grieving maybe who you were. I can't drink the alcohol like I used to, right? I'm like, oh, that's kind of sad, but that's okay. I'm still celebrating who I'm becoming. And I just have my wine with a little bit of sparkling water now instead. So how can we make that first step, right? And that is all about starting small. At the beginning, I said, I invite you all to think about what's one small thing, right? So maybe it's picking one meal to improve. And it's like, I'm going to work on my snacks, having it have the protein and the fiber and the healthy fats. Maybe it's prepping some foods in advance. Maybe it's just tracking your symptoms. Or maybe most importantly, it's being kind to yourself, listening to how you talk to yourself. But we need to listen to what you actually need. The smallest shift can absolutely just put you into that different direction. And then after the one small shift, next week, then maybe it's another small shift. Next month, it's another one. That's how we work. That's what happens for lifetime change. These diets that people do that are just like quick, and you gain weight, or you lose weight and you gain weight, they don't work. You need to go at the core into your heart and your soul and have that shift be so that in a year, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, you know how to take care of yourself. That is the best investment that you can do. And it's the most cost effective thing, is to prevent things from happening, to prevent a fall, to prevent things. So imagine the kind of progress that you can make if you had support choosing and sticking with these small steps each week. Invest in your future self. Longevity is not just about living longer. right? We want to live a full life. We don't want to be in a nursing home having someone that we have to be dependent on. We want to live a big, full life. And each week, reflect on your progress goals. So drop in the chat what's one small thing that you're choosing this week. And you don't, again, need to overhaul everything. Big changes start with one small loving step. So maybe it's drinking more water. Maybe it's 1 minute of mindful breathing. Maybe it's adding leafy greens to one meal a day. Maybe it's strength training 1 day a week, going to bed 15 minutes earlier. But choose something that feels just light and easy and not forced, something that fits into your life and brings a little joy. Progress isn't always loud. Sometimes it's just one kind choice at a time. So come into the chat and let me know, what is that one small thing that you're choosing for this week? How can you nourish yourself? How can you do that? So I'm just going to come into the chat and just quickly see what people are saying. Yes, Sarah, great, more fluids. And I just want you to think about, what does that look like to you? How many ounces? When are you going to do it? Really thinking about that. And I would love to talk to you more about that. Oh, I love that. Oh, the presentation isn't showing. Let's see. Oh, okay. Some people are seeing the presentation. Maybe some people aren't. I hope it's okay. Roseanne is saying, yes, each day is a gift. Menopause is not a mistake. I love these comments in the chat. Okay. One goal Norma has is to move her body more. Yeah, what does that look like, Norma? What can you commit to this 1 week? Is it taking a longer walk? I've been using a weighted vest, and oh my gosh, do I feel strong. And the goal is about 10% of your body weight. Maybe on your walks, Norma, it's wearing that for 6 blocks, 3 days a week. See what feels easy to you. Josie, more water. Jolene, more strength stability exercise, even 5 minutes a day. Absolutely. Add strength training 1 day a week. Yes. Gentle stretching before I go to bed. Yeah, riding your bike 4 days a week. I love these changes. And I love that you're putting this into the chat. That helps with accountability as well. So if you've been nodding like, yes, that's for me, then this next part is for you. So I want to extend a special invitation just for you being here. So if you have been dealing with any hormonal changes, or maybe you're just feeling like, okay, I want to take this other path. I want to see like what is possible for me, right? A lot of people wonder, what is health coaching like? Well, it's a little bit like therapy, but it is about coaching in a safe, confidential space about what's going on right now in your present moment, and where you want to go and the steps you need to get there. Nobody is perfect, and it's not a straight line up. It is up and down. You're going to make mistakes, but we have a growth mindset. Every time there is what you might consider a failure, I'm like, oh, that's just growth, that we're going to learn from this. And you just continue to go forward and go deeper. So even if you're a coach yourself, we all need our own coaches. So what coaching really is about support, structure, and real life solutions. It's not about information. It's about transformation, unlocking what is within you because you are the expert. We take the guesswork out of it so you're not spinning in circles and starting over and not knowing what to do. It's about creating habits that actually feel good and last. No two people are the same. There's nobody that's going to do the exact same thing as you in the exact same pace. So most women I've worked with have already tried a lot of things. So you're not new to this, but you're ready for something that's actually going to stick. So I kind of think of it as like, even Olympic athletes have coaches, right? Not because they don't know what to do, but because they need someone to guide them, to support them, to keep their focus on that bigger picture. And that's my role as your coach, that we set goals, yes, but we will adjust them when life throws different things at you, right? Maybe it's a vacation, maybe it's just feeling off, but it's about staying intentional, feeling grounded so you can keep moving forward without any shame, without any guilt. So we could work together for maybe 3 months. We might work together for 3 years, right? I'm committed to helping you be the best version of you. So as a thank you for being here today, I'm offering you a free 50-minute, that is a full health coaching session, deep dive coaching session. So this is normally $208. And so it's absolutely free. So each woman I work with is unique, and so is her experience. So let's talk about what your goal is from today's session and go more in depth about it. This is not just us talking, it's a space where you feel seen, supported, and walk away with real doable next steps that fit into your life. And think about, where do I want to be in 30 years from now? Not just this week and not just this month, but long term. And then we back it up and we figure out how to get there. So if you are wanting to do this, I only have 20 spots available. So once they are gone, they're gone. So scan this code or do a screenshot here. And so if the scan doesn't work, if you're watching this on the replay, maybe that 20 spots are gone. If the booking link it just means that they might all be claimed, but I don't want you to miss this chance. If it's speaking to you, grab your spot today. If you're ready to feel better in your body, let's chat. Let's chat. And booking is super simple. Just head to mindfulhealthwithlori.com and reserve your free 50-minute health coaching session before they fill up. And just imagine just feeling like in control of your body, feeling energetic, better sleep, clear mind, exactly knowing what to do. So, I know it can feel scary taking that first step, right? But I promise you it is not scary. And everybody always says, like, oh, that was much easier. This is much easier than I thought it would be. Yeah, it absolutely is. So some of my clients have said, working with Lori has been an absolute game changer. She's never felt more supported and more confident in her ability to take care of herself. And another client said that my coaching program was life-changing, right? That the coaching program, it's not about quick fixes. It's about reconnecting with yourself, shifting your mindset, building healthy habits that feel good and actually last. That she's become the version of herself she's always wanted to be. So she's saying, if you're ready to change your life from inside out, Lori is the one to walk that path with. And she was so grateful she said yes. So before we wrap up, again, you don't have to do this alone. If you've been struggling, or if you're just like, I just want to do better, have this call. Let me hear your story. Let's get some clarity for you. So I would love to support you to have this next step. So I just want to wrap up by saying thank you so much for being here. And again, I forgot to say, if you have any questions, we're going to answer those on that call also. So if you want more support, check out my website. This is the scan for mindfulhealthwithlori.com. You can go into events for some of my special events, but that you really deserve to feel good throughout this stage of your life and with the right tools that you can. Your menopause journey doesn't have to be overwhelming. It can be beautiful. And if you're looking for those real solutions and supportive guide, I would love to continue to help you here. So again, come in to download your handout. I put in the chat a bunch of links for you. And I just want to say again, thank you for taking the time today, for being here. I appreciate that you are taking the time to learn, to get educated on what's best for you, and wishing you just a beautiful day ahead. Bye, everybody. Take care.